Welcome to the InStory show. I'm Devorah Spilman, your host, and our theme this season is what does it mean to expand into a new story? And how do you come out of hiding and dare to be seen for who you really are by saying yes to your soul and telling your story? Today, I am thrilled to welcome Deb Goetz. Hi, Deb.
Hi, Deborah. Thanks so much for inviting me. I'm looking forward to our conversation.
Me too. So I'm going to read a little bit about you and we'll dive in. Debrah Goetz is a medical intuitive, quantum energy healer, and educator with over 30 years of experience, helping individuals understand the emotional and energetic patterns that influence their physical health. Her work uniquely bridges intuitive insight with grounded nervous system and body awareness practices to restore health, wealth, and wholeness. Ooh, that's so good. All right, I'm going to ask you the question I ask everybody, which is what does it mean to you to expand into a new story?
I love this question because it's what we're all being called to now. All of us. No one's excluded from this. And it's part of our awakening process. We as humanity are definitely being brought to new levels in our awareness of who we are, why we're here, what are we here to do. And so what does it mean? Exactly that, to be more aware, to go inside. Authenticity is a huge part of that. We weren't taught, hey, it's okay to be totally you. But isn't that what we're doing now? And we're trying to get permission to be our authentic selves. And no one's given us permission. So we have to give ourselves permission. And then when we do, and we spend time inside and we open up and our hearts open up and we start healing our old wounds, and then we start sprouting wings and we can fly into that new story. That's what it means to me. And I think so many of us are experiencing that right now.
I completely agree with you. All right, so now I would love for you to just tell us like a little bit of what you do and how did you come to do it? I'm pretty sure being a medical intuitive was not your first career.
No, it wasn't my first career. Excuse me. But I love to tell this story because I had a yearning in my heart my entire life from the time I was very young. I was brought up Catholic and I always questioned who is this God and who am I in relation to it? And then in my 20s, I started being intuitive and knowing things. And I woke up I had my spiritual awakening during the harmonic convergence in 1987, 88. So I started thinking differently, acting differently. And I read this magazine that talked about this thing called Reiki. And I read how it was done. And it's like, I already do that. That's how I put my kids to sleep at night, just kind of gently with my hands, or, and lovingly just that's how they fell asleep. So then I thought, okay, I'm just going to go get attuned in Reiki. So, yes, first I was an interior designer.
Yeah.
What during that interior design career, though, that's when I woke up and I laid it down for a while, probably 2000, because I didn't think I could make money at it. And I was meeting people that were um, judging me for it. It's like, yeah, I think I'll just continue with my career for a while. But it kept nudging me and nudging me and nudging me. So 2011, 12, 13, 14, I started working with the shaman and I started opening up even more and finding my voice, my truth. Excuse me. And so one night I was home alone. I think I told you this story before. I have to cough on.
So this is one of the things we do is try to hold the space for each other and to see how is this expanding. So, I always ask people to tell this awakening story so that people watching can trust when it happens to them or if it has happened
Sure.
to them.
Yeah. Yeah. And so in 2014, I was home alone one night and I felt this. I heard the words in my mind. I heard intercede for my friend who was out of town. I knew that meant prayer. So I started praying for the safe trip home, their flight is on time and everything. And all of a sudden I felt in my mind's eye, I saw three vertebrae in the middle of the spine with the bulging disc. And I thought, okay, I'll just put it back together. I mean, I did Reiki and I thought, well, I didn't even think about it. I just did it. And during that, over in the corner, a 10-foot golden angel appeared. I saw her in my mind's eye and I felt her. And she slowly came over to me and embodied me. And together we finished fixing my friend's spine. And even today, 11, 12 years later, their spine is still perfectly healthy. So I called my healer friend in New York and I told her what happened. And I said, do you think I'm a medical intuitive? Because I really wanted to be. I kept asking and begging. And because Jesus said in the Bible, 2,000 some years ago, the things that I do, you can do. And when I read that in my 20s, 30s, I said, I want that. Bring it. I want to love people like you do. And I want to heal people like you do. And I kept asking and I kept asking, I kept asking. And so that night in 2014, the answer to my prayer finally came. So I asked my healer friend if I was a medical intuitive, and she laughed at me and she was, of course you are. It's like, that's all I need to hear. Okay. So I started calling all my friends that were local and I said, do you have any back problems? Do you have any headaches? Come on over. I want to see if I can do this again, see if it's repeatable. I was doing sessions for my friends and they were getting better too. So I thought, that's it. I can do this now. Yay. And so it took me a while, but at a very strong leading of my guidance system through a very serious series of nudges, strong nudges, I closed my business in 2016 and went into healing full time. And, there were a lot of fears, of course, like, how can I support myself through this? And they promised me and they told me, you will never be in want. And I have not been. Because I
Wow.
answered my calling. I wrote myself a new story. The soul wrote it for me, and I just followed the breadcrumbs. I always say I just put one foot in front of the other. That's all I do. That will take us through and to our new stories. And is it scary? Well, sometimes, but not when you know that it's your soul leading and guiding you, and your guidance leading and guiding you to it. And then once you start trusting and just taking one little step, then the next little step and the next little step, and you finally take a breath and exhale and say, this is working.
All right. So, first of all, that is such a powerful story, and that's kind of turning point moment. But I would love for you to talk about the whole realm of how do you trust your intuition? Because everyone who does trust it talks about it with such confidence that most people don't feel.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like a lot of people don't have like an early childhood experience of knowing that, oh, I've always been meant to do this, but they have an older feeling, and they feel like everything I've been doing up to now, that's not all there is. There's something more. But all those, how do I trust it? How do I make money with it? Does it really work? We all bump into those. And I kind of get the one step at a time, but I would love for you to share a little bit about what you have seen that's helping people to learn how to do
Practice it.
that.
That's number one is take little steps. There was something that you said, that something I had an answer and I forgot it, but it'll come back. So the main way to trust the intuition for me was, again, just one little thing. And I asked for more. I mean, I called my friends. I said, come over. I want to see if I can do this. I tested myself.
Right, right.
And so maybe if there's, here's a good practice somebody might want to do. If always just be inside, be settled, grounded, and just stay aware, because you'll start getting a nudge. And it could be as simple as, hey, call so and so.
Mm.
Turn right here. You usually turn left. Turn right. Go see what happens. And don't let your mind come in there and say, oh, but I'll be late. You don't know. There might be a bad traffic accident that way and you'll get there faster going this way. See, it's feeling the nudges, recognizing it. Oh, I know. Remember what I was going to say before. We weren't taught that it's okay to go inside and listen.
Right.
And there's too many distractions out here. And you know what? The Pope knows better. The priests know better. The nuns know better. The teachers know better. Government knows better. Everybody knows better than we do. So where did we get permission to follow the breadcrumbs? Where did we get permission to go inside and listen? Because this is our guidance. This is the compass. And so the first step is just stop and truly give yourself permission. And will you be judged? Maybe, but who cares? It's your soul. What happens when you're on the other side or when you're 90 years old and you say to yourself, oh my gosh, I never did that? Think of that regret. And I always ask also for the next level. Okay, starting out simple. I'm going to start turning right when I feel the nudge. I'm going to call so and so when there's really on my mind, because you might be blessing somebody and you never would have guessed that your phone call may have saved them from something really deep emotionally or otherwise. Just saying the right word to somebody. Our voices are, I can go for a whole hour on this. Our voices are our number one sound healing tool.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by our voice? Like how I sound and sound like, so just describe what
Yeah,
you mean by that.
sure.
Won't do a whole hour on it, but let's do a few minutes
Yeah,
on it because I'm
yeah,
I'm kind of with you about voice in many ways, but I would love to hear what
sure.
you mean
Well,
by
we
that.
know that. Oh, sorry. Okay. So we know that everything is vibration. Our voice comes through that sound box with a vibration, but it's also when we speak with authenticity from our soul with an open heart. Think of the vibration that's mixed with that sound.
Mhm.
You might just be calling somebody and just say, hi, I've just been thinking about you. That can heal so much and make someone feel loved, and love heals.
Mhm.
So we don't use our sound healing tool enough when it's mixed with compassion. And we're always, I think so many of us have so much compassion that we don't vocalize enough.
Mhm. So
Yeah.
this interests me in a very particular way because we're doing this interview at the end of March, and I just did what's called a storytelling recital for my soul story course. And in that soul story recital, each person tells a 10-minute story, and it is so moving. It reflects what you're saying so strongly that, but it's another reason why it's powerful. It's not just what they're saying, which it's because they're so authentic. They're sometimes moved to tears, and the effect it has on the
See?
people listening always amazes us. And I
Yeah.
think it's because of what you're saying also, not just because of the content, but because it's so deep. It's so, I call it your soul story. It's so authentic. It's so moving to the person telling it. And that's, I think, what you're saying is that opens that same authenticity and openness in the listeners, right? Like, isn't that what you're,
Exactly. Exactly.
and
Yeah.
that's
And
why I
this
think
this is
story make like that's your story that really moves you contains what you're saying. Like I'm always saying, if something moves you, it will move your tribe.
mhm.
So, but I don't think I ever said because of how your voice carries it.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is the what you might call the magic beneath the work that I do, because in every session I'm deeply grounded in my heart and feeling into what's going on in someone's body, and then kept bringing forth tools and techniques with that compassion. And I truly think, there's no magic in the techniques that I do. I truly do believe that it's the voice and the masters that come through me with their huge hearts of compassion that the person cannot help but be changed.
Yeah. Let's do something for the audience. Let's
Okay.
do something that you feel like you can do it. Like I'll be here to hold the energy, but that will allow the people listening to have a little bit of an experience of opening themselves up to trusting their own intuition, their own flow of what comes to them. In some
Okay. We'll
sense.
have them. How about we have them tune into their body? And okay, this is real simple. Well, I'm going to channel it, so it might turn into
That's
something
what
a
I
little
want you
bit
to do.
longer than what I.
Just
Okay.
channel what's coming through, because we're modeling a
Yeah,
little bit of how you get present in the moment for what's coming through and allow it, because we want
yeah,
them to learn to do this themselves. We want all of you watching to trust
yeah.
yourselves when something comes through, and we are all learning this thing we call channeling or receiving, or get, it's this way of knowing that you get directly, not because someone tells you.
Right.
So
Exactly.
just do whatever comes to you.
Sure. All right. So who's ever watching this later, join in, because first of all, the energy isn't just here and now. The energy that I'm going to be transmitting and you're going to be receiving and opening up to yourself is all going to be the same in the recording. So that's where we're going to start. So everyone just take a breath down into the belly, in through the nose, and then just gently let it out and let your out breath be longer than your in breath. And you're going to do that again. And while you breathe out, allow your shoulders to drop. Allow yourself to feel the weight of your body on your chair. And then we're going to feel we know where our consciousness is and our prefrontal cortex of our mind. Well, we're just going to allow that thinking self, that consciousness to just drop down into the body like a balloon softly falling from the sky. Just watch as your consciousness floats down into the body, through the brain, through the base of the brain, down through the neck. Keep those shoulders dropped. Take your consciousness, yep, like that balloon, just softly fall down through your chest and down into the solar plexus or your womb space, wherever feels like home to you. This is home, and it's safe here. And as you take another soft inhale, you might want to put your hand on your heart and just gently feel into your body. Notice anywhere in the body where there might be tension, tightness, pain. Don't judge it, just notice it. And when you have that space, I want you to treat it as if it's a child and you're going to have a conversation with it. And so you might just want to sit softly next to it. Imagine that it might be you as a small child, or it has a personality. So you might just want to gently ask it, what is it that you need? What's going on? I know you have a message for me. What is it? And yeah, take a deep breath. And when you know what that message is, what did that small child, the pain, the tightness tell you? And then let it know that you're here for it. That up until now, you didn't know that it needed attention, but let it know that you're here now and you're not going anywhere. You got this together now. It's not alone. Let it know that it's safe. You're safe here. And whatever it was that you experienced, it's not happening now. But anybody that went through what you went through would feel exactly the same way. That there's safety here now, and we got this together. And in this space of safety, it's safe to just let it go. Yeah, it's safe to release. And then just give it a big hug. Let it know how much you love it and that you're always here for it. And then you can come back into the space. And I get chills every time I do that.
I love that because I do something similar, like you can call parts work or conversations with everything, I call it. And do you want me to share a piece of mine if I'm willing, which I am?
Of, of what you just
Mhm.
experienced through that. Sure. Yeah.
So
Love
I
that.
felt the kind of tightness, like I get headaches sometimes. I felt the kind of tightness behind my eyes and the back of my neck. And it was like when you said have it be this little child self, it was like kind of having a tantrum, like, I don't want to be up here in your head. And it's like, okay. And I was like, you can come down into my heart where I love you, and you don't have to be in charge of my head. You don't have to be in charge of any thinking. And and then I've been working on my knees because they kind of hurt when I walk downhill. And I didn't finish this, but I'm going to go back. But it was like when so I took care of that. It's like, okay, in my heart, that's much better. And my knees was like, they were like, we're just so confused. We're so confused. So I'm gonna like have to go back and see why they're confused. But I just love this inner work because for me, it's like I'm all about the imagination. So you're basically using what feels like our imagination. And if you trust that, it's real.
Absolutely. And by the way, your imagination is a huge part of your
Right.
intuition. Yeah.
Right.
And so I want to back up a little bit too. The name of the process that I just did is called the AAL technique. It's been the foundational process of my work since I started doing it,
What
like
does it
20.
stand for?
AAL is acknowledgement,
Uh-huh.
acceptance, and love.
Oh,
You're
acknowledgement.
acknowledging, you're acknowledging that there's this voice, this message of the body. You're accepting it, allowing it to just feel and be, and then you're giving it lots of love and safety.
Beautiful. Yeah.
AAL technique. Yep.
I love it. Look, these things are so significant and powerful. Like I often say, you're going to give that part a new job, right?
Oh,
Right? Like
yeah.
it's protecting you in some way or how, so there, what I want all of you watching to get from us is this trust to this creative expression inside yourself. And that like, I feel like you said, like imagination was trained out of us as a value. And so if you combine, like you said, intuition and imagination, it just opens up these worlds, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, and when there are also like my students, they sometimes doubt that what those nudges are, that they're just them. They think it's just them. And so what if it's just you? It may that's the maybe you've been getting this wisdom your entire life and you just haven't been listening to it because you think it's just you. And it's like just do it. Just follow it, trust it, one step at a time, ask for the next level, for to go deeper, to go higher. But we also have to look at our lives. What are we doing every day? Is the TV on all day long? Are we watching reality shows? Are we listening to the news or being all wrapped up in what's going on in the government? Because how our minds, our psyches cannot adjust to soft and voices and intuition with all the garbage going on out here. What are we paying attention to? So that would be number one in someone developing their intuition is to cut the static out. In fact, here's a one thing that they told me years ago is to shut down the generators. And it's like, what are the generators? And it's like, that's your cell phone, that's your television, that's your watch, your smartwatch, that's your laptops, your radio. And they instructed me to do it for a day. And when I first did that, it's because I thought if I'm going to teach it to other people, I got to do it myself. So, because I do everything I teach, I do for myself first, or have experienced it first. For the first hour, I just walked in circles around my house. I didn't know what to do. So then I had to, and so I went for a walk, and then I got inspired, and then I pulled out my paints, and then I didn't even, a book isn't even allowed. We want ourselves and our own thoughts, our own creativity, our own imagination, nature, connect with nature, go to the ocean, just sit and be with ourselves. we don't know how to do it. It wasn't modeled to us. We weren't taught it. We weren't told it was okay, because here, especially in the United States, we're all about accomplishment.
Mhm.
Achieve, 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 and achieve more. People in Europe and other countries know how to just chill and let life just flow. And we haven't learned that. So now we have to teach ourselves to start writing that new story and following it.
I agree. I agree. I mean, one of the things I have done my whole life is go for a walk. Like
Yeah.
my kids eventually said, if I was grumpy, Mom, go for your walk. Because I would come back, oh, I'm gonna tap your mom, and that's still true to this day. I do that by going out into nature. Luckily, I live in Portland. It's close to nature, but you can go out and walk anywhere and look at the sky and get quiet. Also, my Jewish practice, we have a Sabbath. So the way I observe it, no computers, no phones, no cars every single week. And it is ancient tradition. If we go back
Yep.
to a lot of our ancient traditions, have what you just said built in. So we have to figure out how do we reclaim it in our modern times? Because that phone, oh my gosh, like it's
Everything can wait. The emails can wait. The phone can wait. Everything can wait. We've
right.
just told ourselves that it can't. Oh, I got to look at social media because somebody might be texting, messaging me. It's like,
It's
so
pulling on
what?
us all the time. So I really agree with what you said, that finding a way that you can get out of that and into the natural rhythms of the world and yourself and the nature.
And the cell. Yeah. And if you don't know what to do, do the exercise that we just did.
Right.
That's how you get in touch with self, with the body here, and decode the messages inside the body to get better, to heal. There's so many people on this planet right now that are carrying disease and chronic pain and illness, and go inside the body and find out what it is. I mean, I do that for a living, but I just taught you how to do it yourself.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, tell us what your free gift is so we can do more.
Oh, okay. So my free gift is a masterclass that I created specifically for people who do not have not been taught to trust their own intuition. I talk about decoding the body. There's 5 ways to know that you might even be an intuitive healer. That's all in that masterclass. And what else? How to trust it. Yep.
Wonderful.
So that's in a 22-minute video that you can watch.
Good. And it's so important to learn how do you trust your intuition and to do what Deb says, which is just do small steps. The two things you said that I think are so important is one, get into quiet, like get out of the what your guides told you, the generators, like get out of that pull. Like, is our attention always going where it's pulled, or are you being able to receive what's coming to you? And then try out stuff. Like just try out writing something, recording something. So I think you're right.
Um,
Like when you say this is so much what you see as the new story that we're being called into, what does it mean? And why I wanted to keep this theme of expanding into a new story. So I hope all of you are going to trust the fact that you're here because you can do this, and get Deb's free gift, listen to it, and try this out and trust that it will work, because we can tell you it does work. All right, leave us with a few last thoughts as we wrap up.
okay. For final thoughts, I give you permission. If you can't give yourself permission, I give you permission to go inside, to trust yourself, to listen, and to know that that voice is your wisdom. The body's intelligent. You are wise. So hold that as sacred and allow that to lead you through life, and you'll heal, and you're going to walk into your new story.
Yes, I so agree. And what I always say in farewell, first of all, thank you, Deb, so much for holding this beautiful expanded place for us. And all of you, take this to heart, get the free gift, and then go out into the world and live your purpose, share your story, and be a blessing. Bye, folks.